hatred of immigrants, contempt for the truth, greed, and the abuse of power. We are fighting those same evils today. And we need to be clear, shamelessness is not and will never be a superpower. It is the mark of a villain. Kidnapping children is not what great nations do.
The funniest part about Trump's presidency is that you don't have to exaggerate anything to make it hilarious. The man already lives like a cartoon character sketched by a bored animator on their lunch break. Jim Carrey doesn't need to parody him. Trump comes prepackaged as a walking caricature of leadership. He stumbles through history with the grace of someone who thinks Air Force One is just a bigger golf cart. It's political theater without rehearsal, costume, or script.
We have a president who started out when the country was together and had a wonderful leader, and he is tearing us limb from limb, destroying every institution.
Let's talk about this Donald Trump, even though we don't want to. Let's bring it on the panel for this.
He's a car salesman. He's a used car salesman.
Absolutely.
And he's, he didn't make America great again, but he did turn back the odometer. So who knows what the hell is wrong with us?
Carrey zeroes in on the absurdity of Trump's expressions alone. Every smirk, squint, and over-rehearsed pout looks like it was stolen from a children's puppet show that got canceled after one episode. His face never matches the gravity of the moment, only the guilt of a man caught cutting the buffet line. Trump is the only world leader who can walk into a summit with global powers and still look like he's trying to sell steaks at a strip mall.
And if anything, we've got to get back to a place where we realize that a vote is not who you are. And because you voted Republican, you're not stupid, you're not different, you're not worthless. I could break bread with anybody who voted for Trump. We could find some common ground to love each other through, So, just stop doing stupid shit!
If you're enjoying this video, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon. Trump's speeches are even more cartoonish. Instead of policy, he delivers random statements like a magician pulling rabbits from hats. Except the rabbits are half-baked claims that collapse the second anyone checks the facts. Carrey turns it into slapstick. A president juggling flaming torches of misinformation while shouting that everything's fine. Even as the curtains burn behind him, Trump doesn't reassure. He performs improv night at the world's most dangerous comedy club.
As I watched this week, what I kept thinking was, it all comes down to this case of narcissistic personality disorder. We've all talked about it since you've been on the public scene. But we see it in real time. Somebody really unraveling, spiraling toward madness.
So I'm an asshole? Is that what you're trying to say?
No. We're talking
you're not talking about...
The irony is that Trump insists he's the smartest man in the room while speaking like someone who forgot to study for the test. He makes basic facts sound like riddles, as if mispronouncing a country's name makes him a foreign policy expert. Carrey mocks this with the wild energy of Ace Ventura diagnosing a sick parrot. Loud, bizarre, and completely disconnected from reality. Trump doesn't speak to inform. He speaks to convince himself he's still in control.
Trump.
This whole thing has brought back my 8-year-old self. It's been a gift from God. It's like literally like brought me back to 8 years old where I used to sit in my room. Trump is toast.
Yeah, man. And so you just kind of digest the news of the day.
It's an affirmation.
Robert
Mueller putting the squeeze on the president. Just to release.
Control is exactly what he never had. Every decision feels like it came from a man consulting a magic 8-ball. Carrey skewers Trump's impulsiveness by picturing a president shaking toys instead of reading reports. One day it's tariffs, the next it's tweets, and soon after it's another tantrum shaking global markets. Leadership requires vision. Trump runs on reflexes, and usually the wrong ones.
There was a tape of him talking to Bob Woodward, right? We heard that this week. At the end of it, he gets a little frustrated and he says, well, accurate is that nobody's ever done a better job than I'm doing as president. He says, how can you...
Job of what? Job of what? Demolition Man?
Right.
There's nothing left! That lot is...
Trump turns the White House into a reality show where loyalty matters more than leadership. Staffers clap to survive as chaos replaces competence. Carrey likens it to a a ringmaster firing clowns and hiring elephants mid-show. For Trump, optics always outweigh outcomes. Policy is just another photo op. He poses for cameras while the world watches the flames behind him. A showman chasing applause instead of progress.
That'd be great.
Who was the teacher you draw pictures of? Do you remember his or her name?
Mrs. Gervais. And she
and?
was a super, ultra hip teacher.
Oh.
Literally, like grade 6, she was, first of all, I was at the back of the classroom drawing pictures of her getting like attacked and missiled and axes in her head and things like that. Yeah. It's like, I hadn't learned how to be correct yet. Yeah, she took them all.
Oh, she confiscated them.
Kind of scalded me, but not really. And then once I got famous, she sent them all back to me.
Oh, she did?
Yeah.
Well, that's a nice
So
thing to do.
She saved them because she knew what was going to happen in the world, Jimmy. She knew.
She knew?
She knew.
Under Trump, the economy becomes slapstick. Boasting without understanding, taking credit for luck, and blaming everyone else for failure. Carrey portrays him counting monopoly money while chaos erupts in the background. Scandals stack up like circus acts, louder each week than the last. Even the pandemic and climate crisis become bad PR moments. It's not leadership. It's performance powered by denial and applause.
There, right? That even if it's not, even if he's not worth $10 billion, he must be worth like $1 billion as opposed to, a few million, or as opposed to being in debt a few million, right?
He reported 100 and he was worth 5.
Right.
So that's the ratio of truth to bullshit with Trump. Basically, anything he says is 20 to 1. Okay? It's 20.
Carrey mocks Trump's obsession with image, like tossing a green rug over a flood and calling it fixed. Optics matter more than oceans. His rallies turn into parodies loud and hollow, where ego replaces patriotism. Even his feud with the media becomes comedy, raging against the same headlines he secretly craves. Carrey paints him as a man fueled by noise, mistaking bluster for strength and applause for power.
This administration is a rabid dog, and it's turning us upside down. And all, as far as I'm concerned, it's as obvious as the nose on your face, But people have made these elections and politics in general who they are, and it's not who you are. You can make a bad decision about a candidate. It's not who you are. It doesn't mean you're dumb.
Carrey ridicules Trump's fake toughness. All chest thumping, no real strength. Like a cartoon rooster in a fight he can't win. He plays the victim while holding ultimate power, turning leadership into self-pity. Even history isn't safe. He mangles facts and treats past presidents like trivia questions. Carrey's skit of Trump guessing faces on Mount Rushmore says it all. His presidency isn't about the nation. It's about applause. Every move is driven by ego, not purpose.
Kathy Griffin just got herself in a hell of a lot of trouble. As a comic, as a writer, as a comedian, as a performer, what do you think of that, and should people forgive her?
I'd see that everybody's a hypocrite because everybody's imagined themselves standing there with his head. You know what I mean? I mean, maybe at least half the country. We're in a tough spot. It's a very, very divided world, and those on I guess you'd call it the left side. I just call it the sensible side. We're sitting there watching this nonsense happen, and people like Sean Spicer come out and talk about it like we're kindergartners, and covering for this president is like putting...
Trump's policies aren't built to solve problems. They're designed to keep his name in the headlines. Carrey portrays him as a man who sees history as just a backdrop to his own self-promotion. The presidency becomes stagecraft, not statesmanship. Cabinet meetings feel like casting calls, where loyalty trumps competence. In the end, the White House runs less like a government and more like a one-man show, full of noise, applause, and emptiness.
I can break bread with anybody in this country. I love people in this country. I love the heartland of this country. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with, it's become obvious that the choice was a bad one. We just need to change it. And if you can't vote for a Democrat, at least let all this flood of information that's so negative and so obvious.
Trump's endless hunger for validation turned his presidency into a self-made parody. As Carrey highlights, he glorified himself instead of the nation, building monuments to his ego rather than achievements. In the end, he's remembered not as a leader, but as a caricature, a man who mistook applause for legacy and comedy for greatness.